Today we'll be discussing about the concept of medium access control. What do you mean by medium access control, and which are the means of communication? That part you will be discussing. So let's check. In the broadcast network, which you consider in the medium access control, it consists of all the information which is being sent. Okay, the information which is being sent. You have various networks. Nothing but a broadcast network may be following different types of network, where it is said to be broadcasted without wire. Okay, it is said to be a wireless communication, where it is said to be sending the information to all the users, and here no routing is not necessary, and it uses a media which is being shared by all the users. Okay, it may be of two types. It may be a radio or a cellular telephony network, and wireless LANs are there which will help you out in getting communicated, or it may be a Ethernet LANs, where it is also a communication, but here it doesn't depends on each other. It will be depending on the LAN on which it is being communicated. Okay, and you have the cable modem access which will help you out in getting communicated, which belongs to your broadcast network. Okay, and medium access control, they coordinate access to the main. Here also you have the concept of sharing the medium which is being used, and the data link layer which is helpful in transferring the frames from one source to another destination in the medium access control. Okay, and in the local area network, which we will be dealing next after MAC. Okay, this local area network, it is said to be high speed, and it is said to be a cost which is said to be lesser than any other communication. It is based on the broadcast, where it sends the information to all the people who are said to be getting connected in the LAN, and it is said to be the cheapest and the simplest mode of communication, and it uses a limited number of communicators. Okay, so let's check what do you mean by a multiple access communication. As the name says, the multiple access communication is nothing but your broadcast network, where the medium is said to be shared, and it is said to be inexpensive, since you are using the concept of radio waves, where you transmit the information over the air, and you are using the copper cables and the coaxial cables, which are said to be cheaper compared to other cables such as optical fiber. And here also you are said to be getting communicated to multiple n number of users you are said to be using. How it is done? One medium will be there which will be shared by multiple users at a time. Okay, that is said to be a multiple access communication. The approach of media sharing in the multiple medium sharing techniques are two types. One is said to be your static channelization and the dynamic channelization. Static channelization is nothing but you are said to be statistically channelizing each and everything, each and every concept. It is based on only one medium in which it is said to be communicated. Dynamic is nothing but it has the modes where it can get communicated to multiple people at a time. Static channelization, that channel is said to be restricted to that particular use only and to that user only. Okay, so it has the partition medium here, the static part, and it has the dedicated, as I said, it is fixed to certain users only. Okay, and it uses the concept of satellite transmission, and its example is cellular telephony, which is an example of static channelization. Okay, next is dynamic medium access control. Here you use the concept of two. One is the scheduling and another one is random access. Okay, in the scheduling you have the polling technique. In this particular technique, what happens is you use the concept of polling. It's nothing but I will give a time. In that particular time only you can access the medium. That is said to be your polling. Okay, and it has this slot which is being allotted for the transmission of the data, and it uses the concept of token ring. It's nothing but one by one, as the ring passes, it passes from one end to another end according to the turn within which it is said to be receiving. And you have the concept of wireless LANs which are being used in the dynamic medium access control. Okay, and in the random access you have a part where it is said to be a loose coordination, and it has the concept of sending the information, waiting for certain amount of time, and retry later if any problem is there. It uses the concept of Aloha and the Ethernet concept which is being there in the random access protocol. Okay, So channelization satellite medium, it uses the two links, one is the uplink and the downlink. Okay, you are said to be communicating to the satellite, and from satellite you are said to be getting the information to the antennas, nearby antennas, and that antennas, it will be transferring the information to you, which belongs to your broadcast network. And cellular also has a concept like it gets communicated from you to the certain antenna, from antenna to any of the other users wherever he may be there, but it will be communicating from one station to another station, one antenna to another antenna. It gets communicated through the help of the satellites only. Here also the cellular part. Okay. And you have the concept of polling. Polling, as I said, it is said to be a fixed number of users which are there, and those fixed number of users, what do they do is they get communicated from one end to another end. They get communicated. When the data flows from one, it has to wait the other person, he gets the connection, other person he gets the connection, like that one by one they will be getting the connection, and it is said to be a fixed one where the information, it is said to be passed in that particular time only. They have to schedule the communication, afterwards the communication gets locked. Okay, that is the polling technique. And token ring, as I said, you pass the information in the ring format. Okay, if they gets communicated from one first user to the nth user, once again the repetition of the users from one end to another end in that particular area only. For example, in your area you are said to be getting the cable network. That cable network, it is getting communicated to each other in that ring format only, where each and every person gets the information from one end to another end, afterwards from another end to another end, till the communication happens from one part to another part. It will not like transformation, it is between that ring only, it will not go out of the ring. Okay. Random access, as I said, it will be using the concept of a bus concept, where it gets communicated through the bus. Whenever the information is said to be being flown, it will be through the bus only, and to that particular source and destination it will be reaching. And whenever the information is being there, it will be getting, the taps gets closed. Okay, multi-tapped is nothing but whenever necessary, then only the information flows, otherwise it will not flow. If multiple data is being transmitted over the line, it may have a crash in between. That it will be taken care by the CSDMA. It's nothing but a carrier sensor it will be using, which will be knowing the like communications when they are said to be getting communicated one source to destination. It sees that no collide happens between the sender and the user, that it will be taken care by the sensors which are being used in between. Okay, that is your random access. And then you have the wireless LANs. These wireless LANs are said to be the communication between one station to another station. They get communicated, and the stations to a base station they get communicated. It may be any of the devices, but they get communicated to a base station, and that base station sends the information to all the users. And here also it uses the concept of random access and the polling in the wireless LANs also. Okay, so selecting, how do you select medium access control is, it is based on your application whichever you are using. It is based on your traffic, how much traffic is there and what to use, and voice stream is there, which application is said to be the best one. It should be seen, and it should have a low traffic, and it is said to be low disturbance, it will be there. That way it should be chosen, and the data which is being sent, it should be shorter, and the web page is downloaded, it should be downloaded at a faster rate. And the enterprises of the customer market, it should be reliable on that particular network, and cost should be less. And scale, as I said, it shouldn't carry much traffic. The users are said to be supported, which are said to be supported to all. It doesn't give a variation among the users. And current examples which will be used is the MAC DSL, the digital subscribers lines, which are that it will be using this concept, and the wireless LANs, they will be using this MAC control. Okay, and these, like when you are said to be traveling over a car, it needs a communication from one end to another end. Within that particular wireless LAN concept, it is getting communicated from one user to another user. It is the communication through a MAC. One MAC port will be there. That MAC port supports that particular LAN. Okay, that is the important one in this selecting the medium access control. Okay, and this is the end of the thing. In this today's session, you have learned about which are the types of techniques which are being used in the medium access control and how to choose that particular medium access control. You are said to be learned in this particular session. Okay, in the next session, I'll be dealing with one by one all of them in detail. Okay, thank you.